My number one tip that I always say is just read in the washroom. Like, read while you're going piss squirrel. Hey everyone, it's Sunny. Welcome back to my channel. As you can tell, probably from the title of this video, do I really have the audacity to like make a video about this? Honestly, if it wasn't like really busy in like this time of the year, I honestly think I do like know at least my tips and tricks for like how to make more time for reading. I made a video similar to this of like a how to read more video, but that one was more focused on like how to enjoy reading, like how to make it fun. All of that was like on the assumption that like you have the time to actually read books. This video is gonna be more focused on like how to actually make that time to read books. I feel like I have watched videos similar to this like in the past, but just for context, like from me, I'm like someone who is a full-time university student. I'm in my final year. Things are getting really busy, and so I feel like sometimes things like scheduling in time for reading, like putting it in your calendar and stuff like that, are not like as realistic for me. You know, if you work full-time, if you're a full-time student or whatever. In this video, I'm gonna be talking about all of my tips and tricks, trying to be like as realistic and practical as possible. And these are the things that I still do like every single day that I think that help try to get as much time for reading as I can in like the little time that I have. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna be talking about in this video. I'm not trying to make this video like super long, by the way. I'm gonna try to like really be like to the point. I generally have just two important tips. Okay, coming on the heels of like the sometimes it's unrealistic to like block time in your calendar to like read and stuff. Number one is to capitalize on unscheduled time. So what I mean by this is like think about the things that you don't schedule into your calendar because you don't have a choice but to do them. Literally physically impossible to not do these things on the daily basis. So for me, these are things like eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, going to the washroom, going on the city bus to go to campus, walking around campus to go to my next class in the next building or whatever, waiting for the kettle to boil to make my tea. You know, things like that are like really short periods of time. You wouldn't block that into your calendar. The time that it takes for you to wake up or the time that it takes for you to fall asleep, those things, like everybody does them and like you kind of have to do them. You need to capitalize on that time. I actually spend probably like 80%. So 80% of all the time that I spend reading are like in those moments, and they seem small, like 1 to 2 minute, maybe 5-minute intervals, 10-minute interval max if you're like on the bus or something, but they actually add up throughout the day. Like honestly, I do so much reading when I'm going piss squirrel. Go piss squirrel. Because if you think about it, like what do you do when you go to the washroom? Like maybe scroll on TikTok, maybe sit on the toilet for far too long because you're getting distracted, now your legs are numb. You know what I mean? But like if you think about it, like if you scroll through like 6 30-second TikToks, that's like 3 minutes, and that's like a couple pages. Like it just adds up, you know what I mean? And think about how many times you go to the washroom. Same with like waiting for the kettle to boil. That's another one that I always do. And sometimes I make my tea several times of the day. If I make 4 cups of tea in a day, that's like 8 minutes. Same with going on the bus, waiting for the bus. Like these are times when I physically can't be like doing schoolwork, so it would be like dead air time anyway. Same thing with going to sleep or waking up. If I'm having trouble falling asleep, let's say it takes me like 20 minutes to fall asleep from the time that I put my head on my pillow, that's like 20 minutes of reading. And all those things will like add up. That's literally how I spend 80% of my time reading. It's like through those unscheduled times, you know what I mean? So that is honestly my number one tip. Like that's honestly my life hack. For like, oh Sunny, how do you read so much? It's because I read in the washroom. I always say that actually. It's like just people in my life, they ask me like, oh, how do you read so many books? Like what tip do you have? My number one tip that I always say is just read in the washroom. Like read while you're going piss squirrel. That time actually adds up for real. And it's so easy, it's so simple. But to pair with that, I feel like number one is like easier to achieve if you do number two, which is to reduce the friction between you and reading. What I mean by this is like you need to make your book like as accessible as possible so that you can just like whip it out of nowhere. Because sometimes it's like really hard to just like, I don't know, like bring a book around. I feel like it's kind of unrealistic for me to just bring this to the washroom every single time I need to go to the washroom. But I bring my phone with me everywhere, right? And so I always have a book on my phone. So every time I'm in the washroom or something, the same way people just pull out their phone and scroll through Instagram, TikTok while they're going piss squirrel, I take out my phone and then I just read. I have like a bathroom book, so you don't want to be stuck there reading the shampoo bottle. And I feel like that reduces a lot of friction between you and reading because you bring your phone everywhere. Same thing with this. I feel like this right here, this is my e-reader. It's so small and portable. This helps me read so much because it reduces friction between you and the book that you're reading. You just open it and then it's the book right there. And then the third thing, I always have an audiobook that's on the go. Anytime I'm walking around anywhere or like waiting for the bus or whatever, put my AirPods in, turn on my audiobook, and it's so easy. It reduces friction between you and reading so that you can just capitalize on all those moments. You're like, hey, I could read right now. And that honestly adds up. That is the secret. And that, my friends, is how I end up reading. Not that I read all the time and I've been slacking on my reading and stuff, but like there's like no other secret about it. Literally just bring your phone to the bathroom and have books on your phone. If you don't want to buy books or download books, stuff like that, get Libby. You can borrow books from the library. I use Libby for my audiobooks too. I use iBooks to read on my phone. The e-reader that I have is the Kobo Clara HD. This is gonna be the shortest video of all time, but I feel like it actually doesn't need to be like any longer than this. Let me know if you have any like realistic tips like that too. Other than that, that's honestly gonna be it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. I know it was a short one, but hopefully it made sense. That's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already. Follow me on all my socials. They're all linked in the description. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye!